here
to do a book. I can't say it like you. A book review.
We're here to review a book. Let's do it.
Show them the book.
What book is it? Ada Twist.
Scientist.
Boom. Deets. This is by Andrea Beatty. My apologies.
I'm going for Beatty.
And illustrated by David Roberts. This was published by Abrams Books for Young Readers in 2016. So it's been here with us.
Yes.
And that's good, but still...
No spoilers.
We're not going to spoilers. We're going to spoil things with spoiling. We have likes, and we have a new word, which is oints.
Explain oints.
Oints is a smashed together version of opinions and points and observations.
Yeah.
Oints. Ada Twist Scientist is the story of a young scientific-minded girl named Ada who was pretty much born with a question mark sprouting out of her head.
Yeah.
When you read this, you have to understand that with great curiosity comes great action.
Yeah.
Which the adults in Ada's life didn't quite know what to do with at first.
Well, and also, she is a scientist, and experiments can be very messy.
Mm-hmm.
And
enough said. So now that you kind of understand where Ada's coming from, what are the likes that you have?
So here are my likes. I think it's a true example of acceptance because her parents decide that even though they don't understand really her curiosity, they're going to be very supportive of it in any way that they can and help her pursue her passion of why.
Mm-hmm.
So to me that's a big deal because a lot of parents do not support their kids' flights of fancy or obsessions or passions or dreams, whatever you want to call it, if it's inconvenient or scary or whatever. So I thought that's my favorite thing of the whole book. Another thing that I really liked is I used to be a lyricist. I am somewhat picky about rhymes, but I'm not formal about rhymes either, though. I mean, if the vowel sounds line up and the words are cool, I'm good. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect rhyming. In fact, frankly, sometimes perfect rhyming is boring to me. So I thought the rhyming was excellent. The word choice was varied and somewhat sophisticated considering the age group. What is the age group? Did we decide?
I do think this falls into the 4 or 5 on up to about 2nd grade level wheelhouse.
Okay.
Just the age of Ada kind of places it at an upper placement. 2nd or 3rd grade students might be starting to age out. But the message goes for all ages. So I could definitely see this being used as a reflective story for older kids. Because, it certainly worked that way for me. I was highly entertained. I love Ada.
Well, me too. Yeah. She's very cool. And that's another thing I liked was that she was named for 2 scientists. Mm-hmm. So Ada Lovelace, who was a mathematician and the first computer programmer, which is way cool. And then also Marie Curie, who discovered elements that led to X-rays. Mm-hmm. So that, I thought, that was very intentional, because there's an author note in the back that says that. So I love that they gave her name so much thought. I thought that was neat. Another thing I really liked is they had some good role modeling. Well, one thing in particular, where I won't say exactly what it is, but let's just say someone saved the cat. And this might sound weird, but I could see little kids doing experiments and not realizing that living things don't belong in certain other things. And so I like that it role modeled limits on what your experiment should be, because I was a little worried about the cat. Another thing I liked was when she is in class, it shows a very inclusive classroom, which is great. And then last but not least, something that's just a personal thing that I would like to share with all of you is Ada, when she's little, is very good at figuring out how to escape her crib and end up on top of things. And I've known other kids like this. It's actually pretty scary for the parents, but it does show a real high intelligence.
And it's curiosity-inspired escapism.
Yeah, it's not just let's run in the street.
Yeah, it's, she wants to know X and she's going to go...
She wants to touch it,
investigate
and smell
X,
it, and, whatever.
Be there.
So she ends up on top of what looks like a modern grandfather clock. And I got a kick out of that because when I was 4, and she's even younger than that, I think she's like a baby still. But when I was 4, I was aimlessly kicking my legs through the spokes of the banister on my parents' staircase. And there was this huge, 7, I think, or 8 feet tall grandfather clock that I accidentally knocked over. And I was pretty sure I was going to die for that. obviously I'm still here. My grandparents were very cool about it, and I almost killed someone that worked in the house by accident because he was walking when it fell. So I was amused to see her up there, but I was also happy that no deaths or destruction occurred in that particular example. So those are my likes.
You may be interested to note that I don't have a grandfather clock in this house because I'm just afraid to have one right now.
I didn't know that. Seriously? Are you making that up? I'm so gullible. You suck.
Okay, first of all, I love Ada's personality. I love her curiosity. I love her mischievousness.
Mischievousness?
Not, just to get a reaction out of people. That's not what motivates Ada.
I don't think she even cares.
It's not an attention getter. In fact, she really doesn't always seem cognizant when people are in and out of the room, unless she's directly interrogating them. And her questions are so fast and furious, it is an interrogation. But she's just pure question. And I love that. I loved it in my kids when they were young. I love it in my students. I am a big believer in there's no such thing as a useless question, a pointless question. Even if the answer is really simple, the important thing is in the asking. The curiosity has to be there.
Learning for learning's sake?
Learning. Well,
or discovery for discovery's sake?
I think just no sake at all, just discovering. Whatever sake you choose to put on it. Being curious. Openly, lovingly embracing the world and being curious about what's in it. Okay. And that's Ada to a T.
Yes.
The illustrations are my favorite kind in that they're layered and they're copious and there are things to discover in them on multiple readings of the book.
We could show,
for example, here's one we talked about,
yeah.
And there's this clock, this toy clock, and then there's the real clock, and it resonates, and then there's a clock here, and there's a metronome, and there's a watch, and this is all timepieces down here. There's an hourglass. In fact, if any of you have seen a Felix the Cat clock where the eyes move and the tail moves,
yeah, I didn't even think of that.
This cat is hanging out in the same shape as that clock.
Right.
So these things are here for the observant reader of any age.
Which I was not, by the way, but I'm glad you noticed.
But and every page has this. So you could read this like 10 times and you could get some little new nuance each time. And I love that. As we've established, if you've seen any of the other book reviews, I'm all about finding stuff. I love the modeling that the parents, as Annie said, they come to try to meet Ada where her heart is and where her curiosity is. They don't try to, and they attempt to control it, but in the end,
They see the writing on the wall.
That kind of hurts. But most of all, it's about Ada. She never gives up. People tell her no. People tell her don't do that. Why'd you do that? Some fairly well-meant but negative energy coming at her. And she never gives up. She never relinquishes her curiosity. She never stops thinking. She never stops questioning. She stays true to herself. Is it easy to parent a child who stays true to themselves no matter what? No. But it's worth it. And this book was recommended by Cornelius Minor.
He's reading it to his girls
He's
right
reading
now.
it to his girls, who are 6 and 4. I hope he doesn't mind us saying their ages. He pointed out the incredible gift that time is, and giving time to the discussions and the learning and the thought process. You took my book.
I'm sorry. It seemed like it was in your way. He talked about parenting his children in a way to give them the space to just sit with a question and say, hey, maybe we'll answer it, maybe we don't answer it, we'll try together, we'll see. Yeah. So now that we know how he parents, it makes sense why he would pick this book. Yeah.
And Ada's parents, consult books, and her big brother consults books, partly to understand where Ada's coming from, partly to take part in it and to support it. So I loved this book, and I loved Ada.
And we have no oints.
We have no oints at all because I love everything about it. However, we have to do the test.
Uh-oh, the test. I don't know if it's going to pass the test, but it might.
Have you looked at it?
No. Oh, you have, haven't you?
It's the first thing I do.
Oh, God. So she already knows it's going to pass the test.
So the test is, if you've only just joined me for this, I mean, what's in the book, of course, is the primary concern. The story, the characters, the illustrations, the whole package. But that little extra oomph is what happens when you take the book jacket off.
She gets very excited about this.
Really
stand back.
Freakishly excited.
She may come through the screen.
And I was really gratified because, it lives up to my hopes.
Ooh, I haven't seen it because I got the ebook. Bowser Yowzer. Da, 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 da. That's her
No,
first
no,
grade?
no. We're not going to tell them where this picture came
Okay.
from. We're just going to enjoy
I
it.
say nothing.
Now, also the end papers. Now, she's a scientist. Now, these may not seem exciting to you. They're resonant to me. It's graph paper.
And it's purple.
Purple graph paper on both ends. Now, if you've got a young scientist person in your life and you read this book to them and they get a hold of it by themselves, don't be surprised if this ends up not staying this way. You might have it embellished.
Which would be cool, actually.
Which would be cool.
It would make it very
Yeah.
personalized.
So this is just a tremendous book, and I love Ada to pieces. And I'm going to read it again.
I guess I have to now, too, because I got to look for all this stuff Christina found that I didn't find.
So my friends, thank you for joining us for this. I recommend, as we always do with our books that we love, go to the library, and it's in the library since it's been around for a few years.
Or your indie bookstore.
Indie bookstore, big bookstore, borrow it from a friend.
Give it to a friend.
Read it as an adult, read it with a young person.
Baby
Hand it to a
present.
young person. Spread this good scientific curiosity around. It's a wonderful thing to have.
Innovation is our future.
It
so Ada is on track.
She's on it.
She's on it.
And we love her. My friends, until next time, take care, and remember,
Choose acceptance.
Subscribe.